We are back just like that. So we just covered the NCAA being sued by the attorney generals of Tennessee and Virginia. We also talked about Tim Lester being hired by the Iowa Hawkeyes to run the offense, and good luck with that one. Gonna switch lanes here. Gonna talk about a little NBA as we jump into the association. Anthony Edwards was fined $40,000 after saying the Timberwolves were playing 8-on-5 versus OKC. Now, this story comes from Yahoo Sports by way of Rihanna Walker. The T Wolves guard completely beside himself with the lack of calls, especially down the stretch. In the Minnesota 107 to 101 win, Edwards remained composed as the game went down to the wire. But the second the buzzer went off, he had a story to tell. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, when you start looking at the way that some of those games are called, then you kind of scratch your head because, and I've pointed this out to a lot of different people here in the staff, is that when the Lakers win these games, they go to the line and shoot almost 43 free throws. I've never seen a stat like that in my life. 43 free throws. That is insane. For the game, half of your points are coming from the line. That doesn't make any sense. The refs, they were bad tonight. Yeah, they was terrible. Edwards told ESPN after the game he was playing 8-on-5. The cat had got their tongue tonight. So it's all good, but it's not fair. But it's all good. I don't really agree with that passive aggressiveness. If you're going to go in, go all the way in. Go Rasheed. You're going to go in. Go New Year. Don't sit up here and call it one thing and then say another and be like, well, it's all good, but it's not all good. But, it's all good. When the T-Wolves in-house broadcast, they pulled Anthony Edwards aside for its post-game interview. He continued with the same messaging and accepted the inevitable consequences of calling out the referee. So, of course, he knew, hey, look, I'm going to get fined. I did this on ESPN, on a national broadcast, now on a closed circuit. Why not? Why not go all the way in? And we'll talk about that more when we come back from a quick 20-second break from another unofficial sponsor of the show. This is Vernon at App Stupid. Yes, Burger King, BK, have it your way. You rule. Go down and visit your good folks at the local Burger King. Download the app or order online. Try any of the signature Whopper series. I'm sure they're all delightful. BK, have it your way because you rule. Okay, so when we get back to Anthony Edwards, and Edwards is he's a man on fire. He goes, I'm going to take that fine because the refs, they did not give us no calls. He said in another video after the victory, Edwards was heard saying the referees were cheating. So it's one thing to sit up here and be critical of the referees and say that they're bad. But then when you espouse cheating and you somehow claim that the product is fixed, you do two things. Number one, yeah, you're going to get a fine. But number two, you satisfy a lot of people out there who think that the NBA is just giving you the games or giving you the champions they want you to have instead of letting the game play out on its own face and its merits. I'm not saying I'm one of those people, but I'm saying those are the kind of demons that get conjured up. Some thought his frustration stemmed from the Thunder guard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who finished with 37 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, while shooting 16 free throws. In his own right, Anthony he simply believed that there were several missed calls when he drove to the basket. Him getting to the line, he do that in his sleep, Edwards says. Yeah, He's unstoppable. Nobody can guard him. He's good. He's super good. But yeah, the refs were bad tonight. Ultimately, Edwards surmised that he's not one of the star players in the NBA who has officials respect at this point. He knows it's a process and it's something that'll develop over time. So he's acknowledging that there is a bias towards the superstars and everyone else. That you can't play defense on the guys a little too hard. You can't get close to Steph Curry and not be called for a foul. You can't play LeBron James physically on defense as physical as he can get with you on offense, or you're going to be hit with a foul. Now, is that fair? No, but I don't know if that's going on. I'm just saying from his statements, you can have deductive reasoning and say, you might have a point, young fella. I haven't earned referees' respect yet, so it's okay, Edward said, but I think that tonight was bad from the refs. It was terrible. We didn't get no calls as a team. I got fouled multiple times, and I'm walking up to the refs telling him, hey, can you watch this? They just shaking their heads and yeah, we'll watch it. And then soon as somebody came down from their team and got bumped, it's a foul. So I just feel like it wasn't a fair game tonight from the jump. And so that's why I'm super happy we won the game. Yeah. So the NBA, I can say this, that the NBA is an entertainment league. And that's the reason that they have fed the frenzy and tried to do some of the things that they've done, giving people their top 50 and things of that nature. But they've never, after it seems like the Detroit Piston era, I'm talking about the bad boys, the 88, 89, 90 Detroit Pistons, the NBA did a lot to kind of clean its image up and go away from strong defensive teams. Now, you did have the San Antonio era with Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Bruce Bowen, and those boys. They were really defensively sound. Then Larry Brown's teams from Philly, they were defensively sound with Allen Iverson making it to the NBA Finals. And then you also had Indiana when Larry Brown was at Indiana with Reggie and the Davis boys and Rick Schmidt. Then you had the Detroit Pistons under Larry Brown as well. That was really defense, but we haven't really seen a real dogged defensive team in the NBA that just locked defenders down. And we've seen now where they've created something called small ball, where you don't even need a center now. You have guys who are 6'8" being listed as centers. And so when you see 7-footers, that's not enough for you to be in the paint 15 feet out as a center now. They want 7-footers. They want 7-foot guys shooting 3-pointers. And so when you look at guys who followed the game from the 80s and on up, you've lost them. But the NBA isn't trying to cater to those guys. They're trying to cater to the younger fans, the guys who are just in love with the threes. And you can see it on every level, even high school and Pop Warner, where now they're running a European offense and telling kids about Euro steps. And some of them do it, a lot of them do it incorrectly, and it's a travel. And it's just like, but this is the way the game is moving. And so, I don't know. Could Edwards have a point? He could. I mean, he's there. He sees it. He's witnessing it firsthand. Now, I did like the fact in the story where you have Rihanna Walker, when she covers Edwards walking up to the referee and saying, hey, look, could you watch this? As a player, when you're playing, to score points, it's all about rhythm. And when you're in the rhythm of shooting, then you're having an unstoppable night. But the more times that rhythm gets broken up in fouls, turnovers, just missed shots, that's going to go ahead and mess with that rhythm. And then when you're getting fouled and you're having an off night and you're not getting the calls and the ball is not going in the hole, then you're going to start to get a little anxious, if you will. So, not saying that Anthony Edwards doesn't have a case, but I'm just saying the $40,000 fine is excessive. I think that should really be like a $5,000 or a $10,000 fine because he's going to appeal to the players union and he's going to get his money back. This is all a show thing. The whole fines and everything is a show thing. They got exposed by Rasheed Wallace. And he asked a good question. Where do the fines go? And who collects the fines? And that's why more than not, players do appeal those fines and get that money back. But I could be wrong. Again, how do you feel about it? Does Anthony Edwards have a case? Or is this much to do about nothing? This is Big Vern from Map Stupid. We'll be back. The show just keeps on rolling.